Hey there! Today, I want to dive into the ongoing conflict between Israel and Hamas. This is an incredibly complex and sensitive topic, so it's important to approach it with an open mind and a willingness to empathize with the experiences of both sides. Now, let's start by breaking down the key players and the root causes of this conflict. Israel is a country located in the Middle East, established in 1948 after the end of British rule in the region. It is home to a large Jewish population, many of whom migrated there after facing persecution and discrimination in various parts of the world. On the other hand, Hamas is a Palestinian political and military organization which governs the Gaza Strip, a coastal enclave bordering Israel. The root causes of the conflict are deeply rooted in the historical and political complexities of the region. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict can be traced back to the early 20th century. Both Israelis and Palestinians have legitimate claims to the land, which has resulted in a struggle for self-determination and national sovereignty. Over the years, this struggle has led to a cycle of violence and animosity between the two sides. Issues like the establishment of Israeli settlements in the West Bank, control over Jerusalem, the right of return for Palestinian refugees, and security concerns for both Israelis and Palestinians have fueled the tension. Hamas, designated as a terrorist organization by many countries, was created in the late 1980s as a response to the Israeli occupation. It emerged as an alternative and opposition to the Palestinian Authority, which is the governing body in the West Bank. Hamas seeks to liberate all of Palestine and rejects the existence of Israel as a state, while Israel, on the other hand, sees itself as a sovereign nation defending itself against attacks. The recent escalation in violence between Israel and Hamas began in May 2021. It was triggered by a series of events, including tensions in East Jerusalem, where Israeli authorities had attempted to evict Palestinian families in Sheikh Jarrah, and clashes around the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound, one of Islam's holiest sites. This led to protests, both on the Palestinian side and among Israeli far-right groups, escalating into violent clashes. In response, Hamas fired rockets from the Gaza Strip towards Israeli cities. Israel, in turn, carried out airstrikes and launched a ground offensive against targets in the Gaza Strip, aiming to neutralize Hamas's military capabilities. Tragically, this has resulted in a significant loss of life on both sides, with civilians bearing the brunt of the violence. The civilian casualties and the destruction caused by the conflict are undeniably heartbreaking. The loss of innocent lives is a tragedy that should never be taken lightly. The images of children caught up in the violence, families losing their homes, and the anguish felt throughout the region are deeply distressing. It is essential to emphasize that advocating for peace and a resolution to this conflict does not equate to taking sides. It means standing up for the protection of human rights, fostering dialogue, and acknowledging the suffering experienced by both Israelis and Palestinians. Understanding the complex dynamics and historical context is crucial in finding a sustainable solution. Efforts to resolve this conflict have been ongoing for decades. Various negotiations, international interventions, and peace plans have been proposed, but achieving a lasting peace remains elusive. The United Nations, the United States, the European Union, and other regional players have all taken active roles in mediation attempts, recognizing the need for a fair and just resolution. Ultimately, a two-state solution is widely regarded as the most feasible path to peace. This would involve the establishment of an independent and viable Palestinian state alongside a secure Israel, with mutually agreed-upon borders, and a resolution to contentious issues like Jerusalem and the right of return for Palestinian refugees. In conclusion, the Israel-Hamas conflict is a deeply complex and multifaceted issue. Understanding the historical background and the perspectives of both Israelis and Palestinians is crucial in moving towards a peaceful resolution. Advocating for the protection of human rights and the cessation of violence is an essential step towards creating a better future for all those affected by this conflict.